What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I am going to show you how to create modular UI and widgets. It's going to be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. But first, if you are serious about learning and making your first game in Unreal Engine 5, join my Unreal Club. Inside, you will be able to download entire private files from my tutorials, enter private meetings and webinars with industry experts, access exclusive ebooks packed with the best tricks, get powerful asset frameworks to speed up your blueprints, and much more. The link is in the description. With that said, let's continue with the video. Alright, so first of all, what is modular UI and widgets in Unreal Engine 5? Well, it's simply a customizable, reusable interface component for widgets, which allows easy updates and consistent design. So this means that if you have multiple buttons throughout multiple widgets in your game, well, if you want to change something, you need to go through each individual button and each individual widget. With this approach, you only change it from one place, and all the buttons in your game, including the fonts, colors, and everything, updates automatically, which just saves so much time. So for this, let's go to the content browser, right click, scroll down, and create a new user interface widget blueprint. User widget, and rename it something as WB_button, and open this up. So now over here, what we can do is start to customize our own custom button that we will use throughout our game. Of course, you can create multiple versions of this too. So under common, let's drag in button into our hierarchy, and now we can see our button over here. Let's simply go ahead and rename this as a bit cleaner, and also change the fill screen to desired, which will mimic the actual size that you will see the button in other widgets. Now my button wants to have a text, so I'm gonna drag this over here, and there we go. By default, let me put in something as button, and also I want to change the default color of this button so we can differentiate it from the normal default button. So under style, I'm gonna go into normal and change the tint, just make it a bit like darker, and there we go. Compile and save, and we have a beautiful button that we will use for our game. So now this means that we can use this button in any widget. So let me go ahead and just create a new example widget, and this is gonna be, for example, our menu or whatever it will be. And in this menu, I'm gonna quickly drag in a canvas panel so we can drag in things into our screen. And now when I search for button, we have different options. We have the default button from Unreal and our own custom WB button widget that we created. If I drag this, boom, we have the new button that we created, as you can see in the other widget. So let me go ahead and just place this, for example, at the center. Let me just align this and set the position X and Y to 0. And there we go, it's completely centered. So cool, we have our new button over here, and as you can see, it has text. If I were to drag the default button of Unreal, it doesn't have text, it doesn't have, you know, any good color, and doesn't have anything. So we already have advantage over when creating new widgets. Now there's one thing that is important to discuss. If I select this button over here, as you can see, there is no button settings or text settings to customize this button. This means that I cannot change the text, the color, or anything. Not even do something when we click it. These are things that we need to also customize in our other widget. So going back to WB button, let's go ahead and open up our graph and create some simple code. Now this is going to be super simple, so don't worry. In our variables, let's create the amount of settings that we want to be able to customize from outside. In this case, we want to customize, for example, the text, and that's it, okay? Just for now. Of course, you could go crazy and start to customize the font and the colors and everything, but for this example, let's keep it simple. So let's go ahead and just name this text, as it will be the text for our button, and this variable type, of course, will be type text, right? Because I mean, it makes sense. Text, it will be type text, right? It's gonna be simple letters and everything like that. Now, very important for us to be able to access this variable from outside, right, from another widget, we need to click this icon over here, which will just make it public and instant editable from other widgets. And that's it. So now what we can do is delete these two other events and go into the pre-construct. The pre-construct is called every time we compile, even if we are not pressing play, which is perfect for this because we will see our widgets updating, right? Our buttons updating with the new settings when we click compile, and we don't have to wait until we press play in the game to see of this, happening. So let's go ahead and drag our text and we will get it, right? Because we want to access what we changed. And now, very importantly, we want to update the actual text on the widget, right? Because this is the variable that we created, but we don't have access to the text. So over here, let's just delete this last little name over here and click is variable. And now we go back to graph. As you can see, we have access to the text block itself. Drag it, get, and then we can call the set text, scroll to the button, click this, and now we can connect this over here. And boom, that's it. This means that now this text will update. If I go back to the menu, as you can see, the text disappeared. This is because we don't have any text. If I were to type here, for example, hello, and press enter, boom, this text automatically updates and everything is working fine, as you can see, which is super cool. Now there's only one thing left that I want to show you guys, okay? As you can see, you can also do this for anything, like I said, like fonts, icons, colors, whatever it is. But let me show you how to actually also add custom events, because right now when we click this button, we cannot do anything when we click it. By contrast, when I drag one of Unreal Default's buttons, if I go to events, we can do things when we click it, when we press it, and all this stuff. So how do we do this? Well, we simply need to go back to our button widget, and right over here we need to create a custom event dispatcher. Let's call this something as on pressed, on clicked, whatever it is. And now back on our designer tab, if we select the main button and scroll down to the events, we can click on pressed and then drag our custom event to be called. This means that now we are overriding this custom event. Okay, so in other terms, we are making a chain. When we press this original button, we are calling our own one, right? So if we go back to the other widget and scroll down, we see now on pressed, and on unpressed we'll do the same behavior as it was by normal. So this is going to work perfectly fine. Now also by default, let's make sure that the text doesn't disappear. How can we do this? Well, simply by setting a default text in our text variable. Let's put in, for example, button. And now as you can see, by default it will say button, which we need 2 T's. And it will just look a bit cleaner, right, for all of our code. And that's it. There we go. It works, and we can literally put this button as many times as we want, and it will simply work, as you can see, right? Now the cool thing about this is that if I want to change, for example, the font, I can go to my button widget, right? Click on this, and then go to font, change this to be, light, compile, and there you go. All the buttons changed to light. If I go back and say, okay, back to bold, compile, all the buttons go back to bold, and we don't need to go one by one, right, changing the settings, which is a must-have. And in this video, I specifically showcased the example of the button, but this can be used for whatever type of UI and widgets you have. It can be, used for, instead of buttons, for images, for icons, for progress bars, for sliders, for health bars, for, whatever it is, right? So you can use this concept, right, and specifically also this example of the button for your games, and it will just be way easier to do this. Now, is this obligatory? Absolutely not. This is only for more commitment, right? This is more for big games that need a better structure and are gonna be bigger, gonna have a lot of UI and overall a lot of stuff. If you're a beginner, you not necessarily need to learn this, and if you don't understand it, don't worry, okay? Because this is a bit more of an intermediate advanced level, okay? I would say, even I would argue that advanced, right? So don't worry, if you're a beginner, all good. So that's it guys. If you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 videos and tutorials, so check them out. Join my Unreal Club if you're serious about learning Unreal Engine 5. And now, yes, with all that said, bye bye.